And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, Bill Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling? Happy Wednesday. It's hump day, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Um, just resetting the camera. Kind of doing that. You can see the keyboard in the background. Just it's a box next to it, which is the keyboard stand. I just haven't set it all up. I don't know. I got a TV over there and a broken chair. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with that side. But when I get it set up, it's gonna be fire. Hope you guys are doing all right. Hope all is well on your end. We are going to be talking about a brother out of the UK today. We've talked about him before. I've reacted to his content. Real cool guy. We've been communicating back and forth through I don't know if it was Instagram or just through comments. But real cool dude. And I've asked a question like, hey, is he the next Kevin Samuels? You know what I mean? Let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. So, when I asked that question, it's like, hey, is this guy is Stay Slick with Kit the next Kevin Samuels? And what I mean by that is he's really good with women. His platform is just one-on-one. He's talking to women. Brother Kit is not, in my opinion, red pill. I mean, you definitely would have to call him, I would say, red pill adjacent, simply because of his messaging and his tone. He's really trying to help people with their relationship issues, in particular women. But when he talks about things that people call red pill truths, which is just the truth, y'all. It's just the way things are. And so he's not like Kevin Samuels in the sense that you're not going to see any viral moments with Kevin saying you're average at best, or, you too big, or all the stuff that Kevin Samuels went viral for, which brought all the eyeballs to his platform. But when you remove all that, at the end of the day, Kevin Samuels was trying to help people. He started out by trying to help men. He definitely was a fashion dude. He was, all about the fashion, but he was trying to help women go and pursue the kind of guy that they want and have some success. So Kit is a real laid back dude who has mastered the art of repeating back to the women what they say to him. He doesn't switch it up. He doesn't try to, he says it back to him. It's one of those things where you say it enough times, but if someone doesn't bounce it back to you, you really don't hear it, right? So there's an episode we're going to react to today. He has this woman on there. I think she's an actress. I believe she's an actress. I haven't watched the entire video, but I do have the video linked in the description below. Please go check it out. Go subscribe, support Brother Kit, what he's trying to do. And pay attention, guys. You dudes out here trying to figure it out. You want to go from being invisible to being seen. You want to drag yourself out of the bottom 80. You really should watch this brother, his platform, and what women are saying to him. Right? Is the way he does it, smooth, bro. Like smooth. Right? And this is a guy who's not thirsty. This is a guy who, I bet you if you was to run his matrix, you run his stats, I guarantee you he's over 6 feet. I could be wrong. I never met the brother, but he's probably over 6 feet. He's fit. He's successful. He's an actor. He's a dude that knows how to interact with women. He's sought after by women, not just any old type of chick, neither, like top tier women. So dude knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. When you watch him interview these women, a lot of these women are just regular to me. Now, here's the thing. He's in the UK. And there are beautiful women, in London. But I would argue there aren't as many beautiful women in London compared to other big cities around the world, be it Paris, Barcelona, New York, LA, Miami, Tokyo, Seoul. Like when you go to the other big cities, I think there's the caliber of women kind of steps up. Like, when it comes to beauty and physicality and all that, you got more to choose from in these other cities than you do in London. Now, I've only been to London a couple times. I haven't really spent a lot of time there. So just based on what I saw when I was walking around in London, the places I was going in London, I would say a London 8 is probably a 6, maybe 7, anywhere in the US on average. And if you take a London 8 and you put her in Miami, in LA, in New York, she falls closer to a 5. Keep in mind, 5 is average, guys. 5 is average. I know people get so upset when you call them a 5. Like I just said, you're average. That's what a 5 is. Right? It's just average. So I would say you have to get like a London 15 to be comparable to a Miami 10 or LA 10. You feel me? Like, like if you're dealing with a woman that attractive in London, she's probably a model for real. She's probably, a B-list, maybe C-list or A-list celeb type thing. Like more than likely, if she's that fine, then like, yo, bro, she's making money off her beauty and not OF either. Like she's got an agent, got a manager. So like the average woman I saw over there was truly average. Like just over there, I'm like, huh. It was, I had a good time. It was fun. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I just was not impressed by the nightlife and the women that I saw walking around in London. And I was in East London, I was in West London, moving around a bit, just hanging out with folks. And I went to some casino in Piccadilly Square, I think it was called. I went to a casino there. It was the only place I could watch American football. And I went there to watch the games early in the morning. And I came back late that night to do a little bit of gambling. I was playing some blackjack. And normally if you're at a casino, that you're going to see like top tier women. That's where they really going to come out and hang out there looking their best. Bro, nothing caught my eye, fam. Nothing caught my eye. So just letting you know. The women in London, no disrespect, guys, but the women in London compared to the women, in other major cities just aren't really up there, in my opinion. There's some cuties over there. So, and if you watch Stay Slick with Kick, you'll see what I'm talking about. So we're gonna review, react to an interview that I saw. He's talking to this sister over there, and boy, oh boy, this woman really reminds me of pretty much what you're seeing out here in America. Very, very headstrong. She probably wouldn't admit to it, but I would say definitely feminist, 100% feminist, but she's masking that, in a cloak of femininity. It's kind of weird. You'll see what I'm saying in a second. Just want to, shout out to the fellas. Well, I see you, brother Pitt. Jules and Bitter. What's good, fam? Good to see you, man. I hope all is well on your end. Brother Michael, what's happening, fam? You already know, recreational use only, boy. Well, that's like your running gag right there, but it's funny. Yeah. Over there, when I was in London, bro, yeah, that's all I was thinking. I'm like, if I mess with someone, it's just a hit. Like even in Germany, I saw some beautiful women in Germany, Berlin, Hamburg, was it Hamburg? Dusseldorf. Man, I saw some beautiful women walking around in Frankfurt, like in Germany, in France, some very, very sexy women. Like what I really loved about, the women I met, the French women that I met, very like they're not crazy about tons of makeup. They just use makeup to accent, you know, very sensual, easy to talk to, very witty. Same with the women from Spain, Italian women. Lord have mercy, Italian women, just something about them, man. It's kind of like, women from Brazil, like women from, like Italian women, just the way they carry themselves, the way they keep themselves. Whoo, boy. So when I was I said what I said about the UK, but that was just UK. And keep in mind, I was only in London. It's not like I got to go around to Liverpool and some other places. I was like Kent or whatever. I was in London. But the rest of Europe, bro, yeah, man, real baddies. Like it changes the scale. Like some of the most beautiful women I've ever come across, when you take in the total picture, total package, were women from Europe. Um, Italian women, French women, and Spanish women, top three. Top three. And I'm talking worldwide. I mean, there's some baddies in Brazil, there's some baddies in Argentina, there's some baddies in Peru, Colombia, all that. There's some dimes over in Thailand and in Korea, Japan. But I'm telling you, bro, my top three, them three countries in Europe, bro. There's something about them women. And it's not just like I said, they don't drown themselves in makeup and all that kind of stuff, bro. They out there. It's just something about who they are. It's so much fun to be around them. Like you're up at 2, 3 in the morning. You're drinking, like drinking wine and eating bread with some really good um, um, olive oil and stuff like that, bro. Like soft bread with the hard crust, man. Or you're eating some pasta or some, you're eating, man. It was just nice. Like, and in London, I had some good conversations, but I wasn't really taken. You feel me? Like I wasn't really like just enthralled and like, oh my God. But like the French women and the Italian women and the Spanish women, bro. Like even the German women, man, they come off kind of hard. You know what I mean? They come off a little hard. They come off German, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. But that's my thing, man. Yeah, brother Izzy in the building. What's good, fam? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Tristan Tate was talking about this, and they're like, no, there's some beautiful women in the UK. There's beautiful women in London. They just don't really go. They don't go out like that. You got to know where they are, catch them when you catch them, and you get them to come out. I believe him when he says that, but just on the average, bro, just on the humble, walking around. You walking around Miami, I guarantee you spend 3 hours in Miami, anywhere in Dade County, hell, anywhere in Dade or Broward County, right? You spend 3 hours walking around, you're gonna see a couple women just like really make you just turn your head. Just beautiful, right? I could say that about LA. You walk around in the evening, anytime between 6 p.m. and 1 a.m. and SoCal, you're gonna see some dimes. You can go to the valley, walk around for a couple hours, and anywhere in the valley, you're gonna see some dimes, right? But I didn't see that just walking around London. I didn't see it. We were all over, man, going to all the spots, man, eating, having lunch in the nice places. We're having tea. We're doing all this other kind of shit. I wasn't like just women working there. I wasn't seeing it. You go to Colombia, bro, you'll fall in love with, like I said, first time I went to Colombia, I fell in love with the girl working at McDonald's, man, making me an ice cream cone. She was beautiful, bro. Like one of the first women I saw when we got there. The security, like the police officers at the airport, man, it was some dimes with their little green uniform on, they little tactical uniform on, their little khakis. Ooh, boy. Like you're wearing OD green uniforms, walking around looking good. I didn't see that in London. I didn't see that. Like again, we weren't there that long, only been there, a handful of times or whatever, but I wasn't seeing that in London. But I was seeing that in those other cities that I went to, bro. I'm telling you, Izzy, it's like that, bro. Brother Pablo in the building. What's good, fam? Say, I might be the next Kevin Samuels. I don't know. We'll see, man. I'm working on something now. Our brother Joel has a really nice pub here in Tampa, Ybor City, and I'm working on doing some events there. In fact, I have a meeting tomorrow. It's a good time to tell you guys. Tomorrow, I won't go live. I'm gonna post some stuff. I'll probably post a couple shorts. I'll probably post some me driving around or whatever. But I got a couple meetings, and tomorrow I'm having a meeting at 5:00, which is when we normally go live. And I have to make this meeting. So I'm gonna be at Joe's spot working on having a meeting. Hopefully we'll be able to have a successful meeting and maybe have this event later down the road. So I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow. So guys, I won't be here live tomorrow, but I will be posting stuff tomorrow. And who knows, maybe I'll jump on late, maybe that's like a makeup stream or something, jump up real late and just talk about something. We'll see. But I won't be here tomorrow at 5:00, guys, just so you know up front. But as far as me being the next Kevin Samuels, I don't know. One of the things I want to do at Joe's spot in his bar is, do a remote thing there, do some in real life. We have the equipment to do it. Just do some in real life, and then I can have women that I know or women that we're just meeting that are coming into the spot, bring them over and talk to them. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll give that a shot. I think that'll be fun. I think that'll be really good content. So, but as far as me being the next Kevin Samuels, bro, I don't know. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I'm just gonna continue to say what I say, do what we do over here, and try to help. Try to help some brothers get on. And then, like, yeah, brother Michael, man, it's like, they were beautiful without makeup, and they did have their natural hair. Yeah, yeah, man. They were in in Spain, in France, and in Italy. Yeah, they didn't wear a lot of makeup. Yeah, definitely real hair. The whole nother, it's a different culture over there, bro. Like, it's just, there's a certain confidence that the average woman carries over there, bro. And it's just, I'm telling you, bro, it's just, it's amazing. It's amazing. And when you talk about being feminine, bro, like, they'll sit you down, they'll go get stuff for you, feed you, like, bring the food out. Like, bro, it's, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Definitely different than what you are accustomed to here in the US. Now, there are places in America, there are women who are raised right that will do all those things. A lot of women will not do it right away. They want to make sure you're a certain type dude, whatever, and they will eventually come to it. But a lot of women, unfortunately, here in the US, a lot of women just aren't really taught to be that anymore, to be feminine. They don't know how to do it. They can't make cookies, from scratch. I tell women now, like, you don't even gotta make them from scratch anymore. You can buy the cookies, cut them up, put them on a tray, after you done heated up the oven or whatever. And 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, the cookies are done. They taste amazing. They look homemade, even though all you did was put them in the oven. When I grew up, women were teaching me as a kid how to make cookies from scratch. You need a big bowl, flour, sugar, cinnamon, raisins, oatmeal, you need all that stuff, mix it all up. You have to clump it on the thing, baking sheets, throw it all in the oven. Everything was made from scratch, in the 70s, 80s, but not anymore. And like I said, most women that I encounter, I cook and bake better than they do, to the point where they'll ask me to make stuff. It's like, nah, baby, that's not how it's supposed to work. You know what I mean? I made that meal for you because I wanted to smash, and I got to smash. So I'm not going to be doing that all the time. As a matter of fact, your time is up. I got somebody else coming through. Let's get you out of here. Like, ladies, y'all really need to get on that, I think. I could be wrong, but you might want to do that. We got Red One in the building. What's good, fam? Eastern Europe does have some serious 8-9s and some 10s over there. It's just, again, the Eastern European women are different, especially if they come from former Soviet bloc nations. I tend to steer clear. You want to talk about people running game, running scams. I tend to stay away. Those women are beautiful, and they demand that their men do certain things. They demand that their men have X amount of dollars. They're going to spend your money. You got to be real careful dealing with Eastern European women and some Asian women, like Chinese women. Like, most people who come from communist nations, I mean, there's a few exceptions out there. Cubans aren't like this, but and Venezuelans, they weren't like this. But the Eastern Europeans and like the Chinese, bro, be careful. You definitely got to know what you're doing. And they have no problem coming up to you, letting you know what time it is. It is what it is. They'll run your pocket, bro. They will run your pockets, and it's just, be careful with that. Brother Charles in the building. What's good, fam? It might be because of the food. UK got some terrible food. That probably why the women are basic. The food's getting better, but you're right about that, man. The food is getting better. Like, when we were over there, we were going to places like Nobu, Mr. Child's. We were going to, there were a couple pubs we went to, but these pubs are like really bougie, what they call it over there, posh. These like really posh clubs, pubs. So we went over there, and they had like gourmet style, gourmet level food. But yeah, that's just your average run of the mill every day. Yeah, bro, you gotta be careful where you get your vittles at over there. It's yeah, like London's come a long way, but they still got a ways to go. Like brother Michael saying, DL, I know you said you wouldn't Gary, but if you did, which race of woman would you have married if you had changed your mind? I'm open. Like, as far as race goes, bro, I'm open, man. I'm open. I mean, I really really love Latin women. I'm just keep it 100, and it's not because of just the beauty or whatever. It just, they really believe in being feminine. They do believe in taking care of the home, cooking, cleaning, being there, sensual, sexual, all that. Um, but like, bro, I've had experiences with women from all over the world. Like I've had experiences with Jewish women, like for instance, and I knew like that it wasn't going to go anywhere. I just knew it. Like it was what it was, right? Like she was experimenting. I've had experiences with this Japanese woman. There was a dancer. Like I met her in L.A. Whew, that was an experience. I've had different experiences with women, but yeah, man, like just something about Latin women and just they're so embracive of their feminine that for someone like me it just works. To this day it just works, man. There's something about going, like immersing yourself in their culture, like going to like a social, like going to dance, salsa, merengue, bachata, whatever, the food, the drink, having the kids around, the sports, like it's just something about that culture that just, it calls to me. So I'm with it. And if there's any woman who possesses that, I don't care what color she is, bro. If she's that and it's like really embraces her feminine like that, shit, I'm in 100%. Brother Cody's in the building. What's good, fam? I'm in. I'm in 100%, man. So it is what it is. And brother, it's like I was planning on going to Joe's today or tomorrow. Well, tomorrow I'll be there for the meeting. I'll be there at 5 o'clock. I'm only going to be there tomorrow, real quick, no more than an hour, because I'm gonna have to get back to go pick up my daughter. She gets out of band at 7 on Thursday, so I'm gonna have the meeting at 5. I'm only gonna be there for like 45 minutes to an hour. It shouldn't take us that long. It should be a fairly quick meeting. So I'll be there from 5 until 6. 6:15 at the absolute latest. Today I'm not going to be there to pull up, but next Wednesday I'll probably be able to pull up. Every Wednesday we do that white whiskers thing every Wednesday at Joe's spot, man. So at Triller. So pull up, bro. You know what time it is. Even if I'm not there, Joe's there, man. So just pull up, man. Um, like I could help out with the ideas on lighting, camera setup for what you guys are trying to do. Oh yeah, if you're coming for that, and you want to just talk, yeah, man, pull up. You'll be there at 5 o'clock. If you want to, come through tomorrow 5 o'clock, we'll be there. I definitely want your take on. We're gonna be doing comedy there soon. Y'all know I can't go too long without doing comedy. Joe's making us some changes to the spot, and we're gonna he's like building the stage. Once that's done, we're gonna like that area. So me and you definitely need to talk about that. And yeah, pull up, bro. It'd be good to see you, man. Um, the women chase men in lots of Europe. Yeah, women will come up to you, bro. Brother Cody's right. Women will come up to you, bro, in Europe, man. They don't have a problem with that. They, like I say here in America, they like to put themselves in your orbit. But over in Europe, bro, they'll come up and actually talk to you. Like they'll break the ice, right? And depending on where you are in Europe, bro, they'll actually take you out. They want to pay for dates. At a minimum, they'll pay for half. They're not used to dudes buying them drinks. I guess a completely different world in Europe. And it just shows you how the American issues with dating is because of all the simpletons out there. It's because of the Disney fairy tale. It's because of these dudes who don't have these low value dudes with low self-esteem, and they're just, I bought you a drink, therefore you belong to me for the next 10 minutes. Nah, bro, it don't work that way. And then you have women that are just kind of used to being spoiled. And they just, I can't tell you how many times I have women look at me like, you ain't gonna buy me no drink. Like, no, baby, I'm not gonna buy you anything. I'm like, I gotta remind them, like, you came over here next to me. But I like, don't worry about that. You know what? You stay here, you stay right there. And I'm gonna go all the way over here on the other side of the bar so I can get away from you. You have a good night. If y'all ain't moving like that, fellas, if you got a woman who comes up to you with that kind of negativity, like I said, you ain't got to have a full blown argument. You ain't got to call her out her name or anything like that, but let her know she's wrong. Put her in a timeout. That's a little verbal timeout right there. Like, you know what? You stay right here, your little timeout. I'm going to go all the way over there just so I can get away from you. And you walk away from her, man, it's going to mess up her mind, especially if she's fine. Guarantee you at some point she's going to come back. She's gonna come back or she's gonna send one of her friends over to try to make amends somehow or whatever. She's gonna come with this, I'm so sorry, I was having a bad day. My gerbil died, whatever. Right? That's all part of the game. All part of the game. Yeah, they are very egalitarian over there. Did I say that right? Egalitarian over there. Like they truly believe that, yeah, I should be paying for half as a woman if I ask you out. I mean, they do believe in that. Um, but it's crazy, bro. Like you can, again, if you understand what's going on, you know what bubble you working in. Yeah, man, you're definitely gonna have a good time. Um, and that's funny. But what Cody is saying right there, in reality, they do act far more feminine than women in North America do. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I'm assuming up in Canada is the same as down here in the US. Like it, bro, it is what it is. It's like crazy. It's like quite a few women from the Eastern Bloc will do anything to get out of Dodge. That was the case back in the day, including pretending to like you for 7 years so they can secure a U.S. citizenship. That happens. That's all part of the game, bro. It's all part of the game. I mean, if you a dude to know what time it is, work a deal out with her. Work a deal out with her, man. She'll sign that prenup because, like you said, it's everything she got to do. She'll do anything and everything to get out of that situation. Getting to America would be far better than where her future there in whatever Eastern Bloc or former Soviet Bloc nation she's in. Yeah, she'll sign that prenup. Come over there. Now, understand if she figure out a way to run your pockets over them 7 years, she's gonna do it. So I tell a lot of guys shy away from that. It's not as good as it seems. Um, yeah, no, it's not. That's not what it is. I didn't come up with that title. My man Joel came up with it because of the beards or whatever, man. Maybe you should have said gray whiskers. We might have to change it to gray whiskers. But you're right, man. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what, bro? And with a lot of women too, and we were doing this back in the day, bro. We was doing this in the, early to mid 90s. We'll go up to women, start blah, blah, blah in the club, like, girl, when you gonna buy me a drink? And this is when the whole thing is what the women would do is go to a dude and get the dude to buy 2 drinks and she'll bring the drink back. So, we've been doing that forever, man. Been doing that forever. But again, guys, you got to get your game up. You guys got to figure this out. You got to go out here and see it for yourself. Y'all hear me talking. I know a lot of dudes, what I mean? A few of y'all done met me in real life and you heard me talking and you see me in real life. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. You really do this shit. Like, yeah, man, I really do. It ain't that hard, man. You saw what just went down and it's getting easier and easier. Why? Because dudes are falling off, man. More and more dudes are becoming invisible and they just don't have a shot. And the guys who are trying are so corny, so thirsty, man. And they just fall back to throwing money at women. So women don't want that, man. Women want confident men who know what they're doing, who can lead, right? That's all true, man. So let's get into this video. Just want to throw all that out there. Let's get into this video. This is Brother Kit right here. Stay slick with Kit. Do me a favor, man. Make sure y'all go over there, give him a like, a subscribe, and all that good stuff, man. Check out what he is doing. Listen to these conversations. Like he has this woman on there. And boy, oh boy, when I saw this, I'm like, you know what? We're gonna have to talk about this because there is some lessons. Brother Prawn in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you, fam. Good to see you. Thanks for coming through, bro. But you, and just so you guys know, I was on a panel with Brother Prawn, man. We had an opportunity to have a really good conversation about, like the kind of the red pill message versus the blue pill message, femininity, versus masculinity, the feminist movement. We had a really good opportunity to have a great conversation, but there was someone on the panel that just, it only takes one, y'all. It only takes one. And I was so disappointed, so it's good to see you, Brother Prawn. I mean, I would actually like to have you up here, man. I would like to bring you up here and just have a discussion, bro, about how you're seeing the world, like where you are and all that kind of stuff. Because I know we have some overlap, but also there's some things that we really are far apart on, man. I would love to have you up here, man, and have that conversation, man. What's your Instagram, bro? You on Instagram? Shoot me. Do me a favor, put your Instagram in, or better yet, hold on. You know what? Better yet, there's my Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram, bro, and let's set up a show. Let's set up a show, man. Let's get you over here, bro. I would love to collab with you. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm still a little mad because that panel and that topic, bro. We could have done so much with that, and you know what show I'm talking about. We could have done so much with that, bro. You have a speed dating show, man. I don't fuck with that. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm a slow dater. I ain't no speed dater. I come in, bro. I'm pimptastic, bro. And you can't do that. You can't be running in there. But you know, with my kind of game, bro, you got to walk down the hill and spit that pimptastic game on all the women. I can't run down the hill and just try to spit it at one, right? So I don't do the speed dating stuff. But we could I wouldn't mind doing a breakdown of one of your videos, one of your speed dating videos, bro. I wouldn't mind doing a breakdown. Appreciate you, brother Cody. That's yeah, that's me. Go ahead and click that. And yeah, brother Prime, let's work something out, man. It'd be kind of cool. So let's get to what we want to talk about here, man. Brother Kit and man, fellas, if you come across a beautiful woman, but she has a terrible attitude, bro, break contact immediately. Immediately. This is why I'm always drilling down on having the ability to say no to a beautiful woman. This woman he's going to be talking to, bro, like, she's attractive, but her attitude, like, I would say, I would give her a UK 8. I would say she's a UK 8, but with her attitude, oh man, I think it takes her down to like a 5. Right? Just like, woo, I would not deal with this woman, man. So, but fellas, this is sometimes you got to say no. And in today's market, you should be saying no often because there's just a lot of women just ain't worth it. And here's the thing, they'll adjust quick. They'll change fast. They'll change. You know, once this happens, once dudes, you know, especially the 20% like dudes up there, like the guys in the upper tier guys, the top tier men, once they begin to say, nah, these women will change. They will change fast. Right. Cody's right. But I'm keeping it on the UK scale. I'm talking about in the UK, I would say she's an 8. Keeping it on UK scale. Once I saw her attitude, I think it takes her down to a UK 5. But you're right about that, bro. UK is already a 5. So you already see what I'm saying. So let's get into this so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Again, this is Stay Slick with Kid, and he's having a really good conversation with this woman, this pretty UK girl. So let's get into this, guys. Check this out.
Please welcome Ashley to the show. Welcome, Ashley.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, she's come looking glam. She's come looking ready.
Yeah, I wanted to make an effort for you.
Oh, we appreciate you. We
Thank
appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
So I want to jump straight in. So first, tell us your age or your age range.
Yeah.
And one thing a guy should know about you if you want to take you on a date.
So my name is Ashley Banks. I'm 25. Yes. And what was the other part of the question?
What should a guy know about you if he wants to take you on a date?
He should know that I never lower my standards.
Oh, when you say that, elaborate. What do you mean?
As in, I have certain standards that I've set for myself, and I don't think I'm ever willing to compromise them because I just don't believe in compromise like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it standards that you set for yourself or standards you set for the person you want to choose?
I think a bit of both. Yeah, a bit of both. I've set standards for myself and standards for the person that wants to be part of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hit the wrong button. That's not the button I wanted to hit. Here's the button I wanted to hit.
Houston, we have a problem.
That's the button I wanted to hit. I didn't mean to hit the burn like I was, you know, happy with what she was saying. But the thing is this, bro. You know, an attractive woman, she comes in there, like he said, all glammed out. She has major cleavage. She has so much cleavage that I'm sure at some point during this interview, her breasts were exposed, right? I mean, I don't know if she's wearing pasties, you know, because a lot of women wear cleavage knowing that their breasts are going to be exposed, so they'll put pasties on so they don't have to worry about it. You know, she's wearing her hair in such a way that she wants to come off as, you know, very regal, you know what I mean, a little bit conservative, but then you look at all the cleavage, then you look at the jewelry, and like the nails don't match the outfit, like it's crazy, bro. So this is a young girl trying to be glam. And she goes into this whole thing where I don't lower my standards. Like, bro, they're barely 2 minutes into the conversation, and this comes out. Watch how Kit handles this. Kit's like, oh, really? Right? Watch how he handles this. And this is a smart woman, right? She's She's young, but she knows what she's doing. And we won't get to see it on this because this is a long interview. But by the end of the interview, she was kind of taking shots at him. I mean, she took one shot at him where she lightweight called him gay. Now, we won't get to that part, but if you guys go back and watch the whole interview, it's definitely worth watching. It's definitely worth listening to. You'll know what I'm talking about. Let's get back to it.
I hear that. Interesting. And is there any standards that you apply to the person that you don't apply to yourself and vice versa?
No, I think it's equal. I think it's fair for it to be equal because I'm not there's nothing that I'm going to ask somebody to do that I'm not willing to do myself.
Okay. So you're like a 50-50 kind of gal?
In terms of I guess principles and approach to life, then yeah, I think so.
No, let's say for example, like let's say you go on a date, like first date, right?
Mhm.
And you wouldn't expect him to pay for you because you wouldn't expect yourself to pay for him.
Gotcha.
Or is that a standard you have for him that you don't have for yourself?
Oh. I mean, I would go on a date hoping for the guy, if the guy asks me on a date,
Mhm.
I would hope that he would take the lead and, lead the date, which means that he's going to pay for the date because he's asked me to go out on the date.
Okay.
But if he chooses that he doesn't want to do that, then I guess I would have to pay for myself, but I don't think I would take the relationship further.
Why is that?
Only because to me, it just lets me know that there's a lack of leadership there that I require from a guy. Yeah.
So would you expect to lead yourself at all? So
yeah, at times, yeah.
Would you ask a guy out and then you kind of take him out in that sense?
I wouldn't necessarily ask him out, but I would make it known that I am interested in him and he should perhaps let me know if he's into me as well.
Okay,
But
so
I
you
wouldn't do
provide
it.
that avenue for him to
Yes.
pursue.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so that's a standard you apply to your partner that you don't apply to yourself. It's
No,
not wrong, but it's not the same standard.
you don't think so?
If you're saying that you would not take a relationship further because a man wouldn't pay for you
Yeah.
and you wouldn't pay for a man, that's a standard you have for him that you don't have for yourself.
I mean, in a way, but I still think that it's a standard that both of us, I mean, I would pay for the date. If I was to ask him out, I would pay for the date. But I'm not going to ask the guy out on
Why?
a date because I just don't think that women should ask men out on dates. I just don't think that.
So right off the rip, like Kit just destroyed her instantly. Not that he was trying. And here's the thing. Remember we were talking about tone yesterday and this new tone with this red pill message, the manosphere message or whatever, or just dating message in general. His tone is where it needs to be. He's letting her know he's engaged in a conversation. Like, hey, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I'm listening to your words and I'm just letting you know that you're definitely talking about a double standard here. Right. And then she's, well, if I ask a guy out, then of course I would pay, but I'll never ask a guy out. Like, fellas, do you see how confident this woman is to come on, getting on the camera and say to the whole world what she just said? You need that kind of confidence, bro. You need that kind of confidence. She's like, if I'm interested in a man, I'll just place myself in his presence, right? And she drills down on it. She was like, I'll just make sure he sees me. And once he sees me, of course, he's going to ask me out. But in her mind, that's how it works. Right? So, and Kit just doing his thing. Yeah, absolutely. If she paid, bro, it'll be the Sierra Desert down there, bro. You ain't getting no, y'all ain't smashing. Y'all ain't smashing it out. Let's continue.
And I don't believe in that.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to acknowledge that you do have different standards for yourself than you do for the man you want to choose. They're not equal.
I feel like they are equal. It's just that
After we just said?
I would do it, but I'm just not going to do it. So.
But you would expect him to do it.
Yeah, I would.
But you wouldn't expect that of yourself.
No, the thing is, I would do it if I was in a really bad situation, I would. But I'm just choosing not to do it.
No, that's fine. But
the standard's still there. It's just sometimes I'm just willing not to execute it.
No, the standard isn't there because you said that you would expect him to do it, but you don't expect that of yourself. And that's okay, but that is different standards.
I mean, I think we should agree to disagree because I don't really agree with what you're saying. I feel like I'm saying that we both have the same standard. I'm just choosing not to execute it at times.
Listen, I don't think there's anything wrong. I fully believe that men and women, we look for different things. And I would actually agree with you.
Yeah.
But I think we have to be honest and be like, okay, there are standards that we would apply to the person we want to choose that maybe we don't apply to ourselves. And that's okay, but let's be honest.
Do you feel like I'm not being honest about this? Like what I'm saying right now?
Well, I think I asked about one thing and you were like, you would expect this of him.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't expect that of yourself. And if you don't see how that's a different standard, then I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how you couldn't see that's a different standard. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that standard.
Yeah, I know. I just don't see it. I don't see it as a different standard. I think the standards are the same. It's just I'm just choosing not to execute. I'm just choosing not to execute that.
If there was a male version of you, who did exactly what you did, he wouldn't meet your standards.
You think so?
Well, because if he was like, well, I can choose to ask someone out, but I'm not going to do that.
I would respect it.
I know.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't choose that man, would you?
Would I not choose that man? I think I would try to find a way to convince him to execute it.
Right.
I get that. Inspire him.
Yeah.
That's what the feminine does. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would inspire him to execute what he needs to execute as a man.
I get that.
Yeah. That'll be a bit of a challenge, but I think it's a challenge I'll take on.
Have you ever done that before? Try to inspire a man to do something you want him to do?
At times.
Okay.
It's from a place of love.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I think, like I said, I think that the feminine does inspire the masculine to move, a lot of the time. Have you ever?
You see how Kit just lets him off, right? But he puts it all through the old
think tank, Arch. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
He put everything she said through the think tank and forced her to do the same. And like I said, she's not a dummy. And she sees it. She's like, man, he's right. But she doesn't want to admit to it. Like, well, it's still the same standard. I just wouldn't do it. But you require this of men, but you won't require that of yourself. Well, I mean, I would, but I don't do it. Like, come on, baby, just let it go. And that's what the need to be right. Kevin Samuels used to say that all the time. The need to be right. Now, Kit's not going to say that, right? Because again, he's coming with a different tone. Right? He's helping women. Like, this is his thing is he's trying to help women succeed in the dating world by just pointing out these things. Like sis, I'm just letting you know what you just said. And that means your opening statement was wrong. And she doesn't want to change. He's like, and it's not a problem. And I agree with him. If this is what you want, fine. Little shorty's cute, like I said. I wouldn't talk to her. It's like, well, I'll make sure he sees me. I'll make sure, I'll inspire him. Well, how are you going to inspire him? Well, I guess I'll just show more cleavage, or I guess I'll just wear a skirt that's up higher. Maybe, show more butt, maybe talk dirty if he comes over here, because that's the thing she's trying to get him to approach. Now that's, it is what it is. But here's the thing, guys. Remember what I always say. If a woman is interested in you, she will place herself in your orbit. That's all she's talking about right now. It's like, I'll make sure he sees me. She is going to place herself in your orbit, period. If a woman is into you. So what you need to understand and what you need to hone, this one of the skills you need to hone is you need to see that woman who's placing herself in your orbit. You need to see it. Now, if you're going to engage with her or not, that's on you, but at least see it. You'd be surprised how many of you guys miss it when a woman is just, throwing signals, trying to get your attention. The vast majority of dudes miss it completely. It blows my mind when I see it when I go out in real life. Like, bro, you really didn't see her trying to holler at you? You really, are you kidding me? And then, I pay attention. I see what he's doing. He's more interested in hanging out with the bros. He's more interested in watching the football game, or he's more interested in whatever he's doing. And he can't see that this woman's trying to get on. And it's like, well, Most guys like, well, you know, she wasn't fine enough for me. I'm like, bullshit. You have no game. Bro, try to get her. You think she's a 5 or less, then definitely get her. You should be able to pull her right up out of here. You should be able to go straight to the crib with her then if that's the case. But your game ain't there. You can't do it. But yeah, man, women will place themselves in your orbit if they dig you, bro. And it's up to you to get your game to a point where you see it. You got to have your senses up.
But asked out a guy before.
No, I've never, and I don't think I'll ever do that. I'm just being honest. I don't think
Always
I would
be
ever-
honest, 100%.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would ever do that. I think I would rather eat glass than do that.
Wow. Is it that
Yeah.
difficult for you?
It's not difficult. I think it's something that's easy to do, but I just choose not to do it.
But we say eat glass. That sounds pretty that's pretty extreme.
Yeah, as in like I just won't do it. It's like, no.
So question, hypothetical situation.
Mhm.
You've met a guy and he is everything you're looking for on paper,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
He is your dream man.
Okay.
All you have to do to start that is you ask him, hey, are you free this Saturday? I'd love to get to know you over a drink.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Not for your dream man?
No, I would walk past him, maybe smile, wave, maybe walk past him more than 3 times so he notices, he takes notice and then he can ask me out. That's what I would rather do.
I hear that.
Mhm.
I hear that.
I just won't make the first. I just don't believe in that. I just don't know. I just feel like in those type of scenarios, a man kind of needs to take the lead. I don't know. Maybe that's just for me. That's what I prefer.
Oh, I think most women prefer that.
Yeah.
But it's because you said it was so easy. I was like, okay, so would you do it for your dream
It
man?
is,
And you were
of
like,
course
nope.
I think it is easy. I'm not scared of like rejection or anything. I think it's easy, but I'm just choosing not to because that's just how I've decided to just play the game of life.
She's not going to ask because she has too much respect for herself and she has an overinflated sense of value, perhaps some people would say. She's confident, right? But what did I say, bro? Kid asked her, if you saw the man of your dreams, that's him. That's the dude. He is everything you ever wanted in a man. He's right there. Would you say something to him? Would you break the ice? Would you go up to him? She said no, but I'll just keep going around him. I'll make sure he sees me, right? She said it. I'm not going to break the ice, but I'll make sure that this guy sees me. I'm going to place myself in his orbit. I'm going to stay there until he sees me. Right now, here's the thing. She would like do whatever it takes. She wants him to initiate contact, but she's going to do whatever it takes. So remember back in the day, them old movies when a woman would drop her handkerchief and guys come running because she's dropping her handkerchief. That's the signal for the guy. Like, I like you. That's some old school shit right there. Right. So if that was still a thing, she would drop her handkerchief. But what she does now is because that's not a thing anymore. She has to literally put herself in that guy's orbit and get him somehow to do something or say something. Even if it's like she's reaching for something, he sees her reaching, so he'll reach out and grab it for her and give it to her. There it is. That's her in. And he'll say, oh, hey, there you go. Or what can I get that for you? Like, oh yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And now the conversation is going to begin, right? But that was her making that happen. And she's definitely full of herself. She's sure. And, like I said, she's in UK 8. Bring her over here. Bring her to Tampa. Maybe she's a 6.5, 7. Miami, she doesn't rate. LA, she doesn't rate. Vegas, she doesn't rate. Like just average. And what I mean by doesn't rate, like she's 5, 6. Just average. Like there's nothing that she has going on that is going to take her to the top. And then she starts talking. You hear this kind of stuff she's saying, her attitude, the way she's dressed is like, yeah, baby, excuse me. Like, excuse me. I think she would have a hard time in America trying to get on with the kind of guy that she wants.
Hear that.
Yeah.
Have you always approached dating in this way?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you find yourself attracting that masculine service into your life?
Yes, I do actually, quite easily.
See, ladies, told you.
Yeah.
The feminine
I do.
inspires the masculine.
Yeah, I do quite easily. But yeah, I just won't take that lead when it comes to asking a guy out for the first time. Maybe once we've been in a relationship and we've been dating for a while, then maybe perhaps on a Sunday when I'm feeling quite nice, I'll say, do you want to go grab a bite? But yeah, no, I'm not doing it first.
Oh, I don't think there's anything wrong with making an offer,
Yeah,
because I think that's what partners do in a relationship.
yeah,
But I know what you mean in the beginning, because
Yeah.
the beginning is about establishing the dynamic that you want to have.
yeah,
And so, like you said, if you want that dynamic where the man is in the leadership position and you are the woman, I guess, following his leadership, so to speak, I guess that's one of those things.
I wouldn't use the word follow. I would say working in partnership with the leadership.
What do you
Houston,
mean?
As
Houston, we have a
I
problem.
think that in a relationship, it's not always the man that's leading. Sometimes,
I agree.
yeah, sometimes the female needs to take the lead. I think there needs to be a balance. So I would say wanting a guy to ask me out on a first date shows me that you have that in you to begin with, and that's not something I need to worry about.
Mhm.
But it doesn't mean that once we're in a relationship that you're gonna be leading the entire relationship. I feel like there are times that I might need to take the lead with your support, and at times you're taking the lead and you have my support.
Can you give me an example where you would take the lead?
It depends on what I'm good at and what the guy is not good at. I feel like that's where you take your leadership in. Yeah.
So she comes to the interview. She has her hair up, has her makeup on, right? She's all glammed up, like old boy said. She has cleavage out there. She's wearing a nice, her outfit, whatever, looking very sexy. But she wants to come off as very feminine. This is the kind of guy I want. I want a top tier man. I want a man who is a leader, but I won't follow him. Somebody make that make sense to me. I want a man who's a leader, but I'm not going to follow him.
Houston, we have a problem.
That just doesn't work. Guys, this is why y'all got to get y'all game up. This is why y'all got to get y'all understanding, right? Y'all know to me, game is the complete understanding of this sexual marketplace. You will see a woman like this, be awed by her beauty. She is an attractive woman. But you won't pay attention to what she's saying because all you can do is look at the cleavage and look at the legs and thinking, well, she talking to me, man. Maybe she'll let me smash tonight, because you can't see beyond that. You be listening to it. Here's a woman that says, I am not okay with you leading me. The man that I want, I'm not going to let you lead. And I know some people like, well, look, Saint, she was just saying sometimes, maybe she's good at this and better at that than you, so she should be able to do it. All right. That should come from the top. That should be the person in charge to like, yeah, I recognize that you have this ability. I recognize that you're good at that. Go square it out away. But that person is still in charge. There's only one commanding officer. There's only one, right? There's only one president at a time. There's only one. Someone has to be in command. There's going to come a time when a decision needs to be made, and the person who makes that decision is the person who is in charge. They're going to get into this. Right? They're going to get into this. But the person, I tell my people all the time. I got people who like, man, nah, this is how it works in my relationship, and she does this and that, and she's really in charge. I'm like, okay, let me ask her. And I'll go and ask the wife, like, who's in charge of your relationship? I'm like, my husband. Like, even though I take care of the really important stuff, my husband is in charge. I follow his lead. We do things like it's my husband. Right now, are there relationships out there where the women are in charge and they're taking the lead and they're making all the decisions? Yes. Yes. Are those relationships successful? Well, I don't know. Got to do the research, but the divorce rate is really high. Really high. So let's continue.
Yeah. So you might be dating a guy and you have strengths in one area that he might not have. So you take leadership in that area and vice versa.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's even like imagine if you have a platoon and you have a captain.
Yeah.
If they're scouting for the enemy, there's usually somebody on the team who's a scout
Yeah.
So he's going to be like, hey, Scout, lead us because this is your area of expertise.
Exactly.
Though he's still the captain.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That you might take leadership, but you still see him as the captain of your relationship? She didn't like that.
Yeah, no, I think that yeah, I don't really believe in having a captain over my life. I think that women and men are equal but different.
I don't think over your life. I wouldn't say that.
Well, it's the way that you said it.
I was talking within a relationship.
Okay, in what sense?
Well, ultimately, somebody has to make the final call. So,
Okay.
when you have two companies who merge together,
Yeah.
have you ever wondered why one company, when they merge, one company always owns 51% and the other company 59%? It's never 50-50.
Yeah, he meant
And there's a
point
reason for that.
Okay, what's the reason?
Because if you come to a crossroads, somebody has to make the final call. And it's not that you don't work together, but
can
ultimately somebody
but
does.
does it have to be the same person all the time? Can the roles change at different times? That's what I think. I feel like that can be a situation at times,
I understand what you're saying.
depending on the situation that you're dealing with.
Well, I think it's different if you go, okay, because this is where your strength is, we're going to take your guidance, right?
Mm.
That's different than going, you are now the captain.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this is your area. You're going to take.
We agree. I agree.
Yeah, that's what
100%.
I mean. Yeah. But I don't believe in one person having that specific role in the entire relationship.
What role?
The role of being the captain all the time, 24/7, regardless of whether he might have. So regardless of whether I have more experience in an area, I don't believe in the guy still making the final decision.
I think
in that situation.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm separating between being the captain and then leading.
Okay.
You can be the captain, but then you don't lead in a certain area.
Okay.
Which I think is what we both agree.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we agree on that.
But I'm still.
All right, so here's the thing. Y'all see what it is, man. She ain't following. That woman right there, if you get into a relationship with her or a woman who thinks like her, that woman is not okay with that man or anybody else leading her. She's alpha. She's alpha. She's a cute alpha. She's a sexy alpha. She's a very quiet and, she's fooling people into believing that she's feminine. But nah, bro, 100% alpha. That's a boss babe dressed up pretty. That's all that is. She's going to run that, bro. She's running it. You think that she is going to sit back and like, oh, we're just going to have one joint account, or is she going to have her own separate account over here somewhere? A little escape account. You think that if you ask her to do something like, hey, babe, can you make dinner? I'm having some friends over. This is after a business meeting. We're going to come back to the house. I'm trying to close this deal. You think she's going to just cook for you? She's like, no, give me some money. I'll have to pay somebody to cook and blah, 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 blah. You think she's going to do what you ask her to do? I don't think so. I think you're going to have to convince her. If I tell my daughter to do something right now, my daughter's going to go do it. I'm in charge. I'm in command. Now, if I'm incapacitated or whatever, my daughter has to make a decision. She has to make a command decision. She's going to do it. Right? I've taught her. We're working on her decision making and plans and her ability to make plans. We're working on that. But I'm in command. She knows she has to answer to me. And I think that's the problem with a lot of women today. They don't want to have to answer to anybody. They don't want to have to answer to their mom, their dad, their husband, right? Their significant other, their God. They don't want to have to answer to anybody. How dare you, right? Being in command means you're in command, but once you got to own up to it. Being in command means you have to take accountability. No matter what, it's your fault. That's another thing with being in command. So there are a lot of women out there want to be in command, but they don't want to take the responsibility when it goes bad. So how can you do both? You got to make it make sense. And Brother Kit realized that right away. And this is why he is spending so much time on this, bro. So remember a couple of days ago, we were talking about women who want husbands and women who want partners. Which one do you think that young Ashley wants? You think Ashley wants a husband, or does Ashley want a partner?
The reason I'm saying that is because you described that the kind of man you would like to choose is a man of leadership.
Yeah.
And he can only lead if somebody is willing to follow, and vice versa.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree with that.
Do
But
you?
why?
You don't agree with it?
Can you explain that a little bit further
See?
for me before I say what I want to say?
See?
What do you want me to explain?
Just now, I'm not disagreeing with
You are.
a female leading, not a female following the guy if he's leading the relationship.
Mhm.
So my question to you is it okay for a guy to follow a female when she's leading at times in the relationship?
Of course, it's even okay to have a relationship where the woman is the captain, but most
Okay.
women don't want that relationship.
Why do you think that? I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why do you say that?
Because most women describe they want to choose a man who has strong leadership qualities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how can you can't say, you say, I want to choose someone who's a leader, but he's going to follow my lead. That doesn't make sense.
So you think most women do that? They want a guy who has all the qualities, but they still want to be the person that's in charge all the time.
I didn't say most women do that. I said that I think most women prefer to choose a man who can play the leadership position
Mhm.
in their relationship. A man that they can look up to, a
Yeah.
guy that inspires them
Yeah.
to grow in certain areas. You know, generally speaking,
Yeah.
women tend to prefer a guy who's older, who's more experienced, who is making more money, who, you know, ideally is at least her level or above.
Yeah.
Right. So do you know what I mean? If
Like I said, Brother Kit, I wouldn't call him red pill, but you gotta call him red pill adjacent. Because right now, what he's been talking about up to this point and what he's about to talk about with hypergamy is 100% from the red pill, 100% red pill talking points, 100% true. So I had to get a brother Don Marco. Do you see how with his tone, she is engaged in this conversation 100%? He just said that most women prefer a man who leads. But she's like, well, no, I mean, he doesn't have to lead all the time. And then she's like, do you agree that it's okay for women to lead? He said, yeah, it's fine. That, you know, that happens. I don't agree with it, but I mean, it happens. And some dudes are happy with that, right? It is what it is. I just think that the women who do lead have the guy who wants to follow the woman. That woman will probably leave that dude at some point. She's going to get tired of leading. She's going to want to put her burdens down and she's going to want to get with the guy, you know, who has that leadership frame. So Kit says, yeah, most women want men who lead. Like you can't say you want a guy with these leadership qualities and then not want him to lead, not be willing to follow, which was perfect what he said. You're telling me you want a guy who's an alpha, he want leadership qualities, he's all these things, but you don't want to follow him. That doesn't make sense. If that means then you don't want a leader. You want to be the leader. There's only one alpha. There's only one CO. There's only one president. And a lot of women, this is one of those fatal flaws, and this is a problem. It's more pronounced here in the US. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a problem. And someone like Brother Kit can get women to think about it with his tone, with the message. It's the same message. The exact same stuff that Myron was saying on Fresh and Fit. It's the exact same stuff that Coach Greg Adams says, Donovan Sharp says, Rich Cooper says, Rollo Tomasi says, the exact same message. It's just a different tone. Right? Women do love to obey, but boy, they don't want to admit it. And that's a fact, bro. When things get bad, bro, when the defecation hits the oscillator, bro, when shit goes sideways, women love someone to take command. Most people do. And they will listen to you. I know I've been in those situations. Let us be sitting somewhere, man. All of a sudden you start hearing it, somebody goes off with it. Pop go the weasel. Rounds start flying. I'm always shocked at how many people start looking towards me. What should we do? They doing what I'm doing. They're following me. I turn around and think, I got 5 to 8 people following me. Like, what are y'all doing? You seem to know what you're doing. We're following you. What should we do next? Things go bad. People look for leaders. Brother Pitney's like, man, these women want Partners in name only. Their definition of equality is having a man take on 100% of the responsibility while they maintain at least 50% of the authority. Bro, that's a Don DeMarco right there. That's a Don DeMarco. You and brother Cody cooking, man, but that's a fact. That is a fact. Fellas, y'all need to be paying attention to this. Like when you're out here, especially if you're looking for a wife. If you're looking for a wife, man, you're going to have to find that woman that is not just okay with you being in charge and leading her. You need to follow that. You need to find that woman that wants you to be in charge. Take care of that. You want that woman telling you, take care of that. How are you going to fix that? What are you going to do to fix that? Yes, when you have a good woman, part of being, part of leadership is knowing your team, assessing your assets, and putting people in place that are going to help you move forward to be successful. That's part of being in charge, right? So as a guy, yeah, if you're terrible with money and, your wife's a certified public accountant who is the best in her field, yeah, man, she needs to be in charge of the bread. There's oversight involved. You want to make sure everything is good, not that she's cheating on you, but you want her. If you have a woman who has really good business sense, yeah, you should be listening to her. You should be listening. She's going to tell you stuff. You should be listening to her. Right? You might be good at the physical stuff. You might be good at the security part. You might be good at the networking. Right? That's fine. Handle what you can handle in your wheelhouse and make sure she's handling what she's handling in her wheelhouse. If she's bad with people like this young Ashley chick, you don't want Ashley networking. That might mess some shit up. So you have Ashley do, hey, baby, look here, love. We're going to be doing this thing. I need you to bring people to me when it's time to network. I'm going to need you to tell me who they are, get the basic information, and then I'll finish the conversation because you're really bad at networking. Now, once we get the deal inked and it's ours, you're going to be handling the books because you are the best accounting slant money person that, on the planet. You are doing that. That's you, babe. And this woman wants to say, I am in charge of everything. And you just go out there and do what you're doing, but I'm ultimately in charge. She wants to be in command. She's alpha. She's 100% alpha. Is she going to find the man that she wants? No. And the guys who are willing to follow her, is she going to really want to be with those guys? No. She wants a husband too, but she's going to wind up with a partner. She's probably going to wind up with a few partners. She's going to have a guy, get rid of him, get another guy, get rid of him. And then by the third guy, she'll be so old or whatever. And her beauty's beginning to fade that she'll just stick with the guy because it's, the smart thing to do. Fellas, be looking out for these ladies. There's nothing wrong with these women either, guys. This is not a battle or whatever. It's not me beating up on little Ashley Banks. I'm not beating up on her. All I'm saying is when you come across a woman like this, know who you are dealing with and move accordingly. Let's get back to the conversation.
If I say hypergamy, do you know what that word means?
No, explain that to me.
So hypergamy is essentially mating across and up, which is generally what women would prefer to do, right? So if you own your own house, you want to choose a guy who also owns his own house, maybe too.
Okay.
If you drive, you want a guy who also drives. If you make 50K, you want a guy, right? So women tend to prefer to choose across and up.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is because they value or find very attractive those qualities that would make him a good person to lead the relationship, someone that she can rely on in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely do women go down, or if they do, I think few women can do that. Like I said, there's nothing wrong if a woman's the captain of her relationship.
I think sometimes females do want to date somebody who doesn't have those qualities in a man because I do agree with that. To be fair, there are some females that do that.
Yeah. Why do you think they do that?
I think it's because maybe that's just how they've just been programmed to be their entire life. They just don't know how to take the back seat. They've probably had to always be in the driving seat all their life. So having somebody who just sits there and supports them and their goals, that works best, instead of having somebody that you're going to be constantly fighting with because you're fighting for that position.
Yeah, very true.
It's like, okay, those type of women think like men.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So they can't be with a manly man. Or let me not use that word. I think that's not politically correct.
That's all right.
But
Like a masculine man.
yeah.
I got you. I got you.
So they don't want to be with that type of man, because that's just going to create so much drama and tension in the relationship. It's going to take away from the focus of whatever your mission and goal is in life. You
So
know?
should be looking for a man who plays a man who maybe sits more in his feminine.
Yes, I guess they like that because it works.
Y'all hearing this? She's that woman. She wants a manly man. She wants an alpha. She wants a dude who's extremely successful and all that, but she doesn't want to follow him. She wants him to allow her to make the decisions, right? And she's saying, well, not all of the decisions, just the stuff that I'm good at. Like, babe, that means you want to be in charge. And she's describing women like, oh, there are women out there who just, they don't know how. They've never done it before. They've always been in the driver's seat. They're not going to give up control. So they're never going to be able to get with a masculine man, a manly man. They're going to have to get a guy who's more in his feminine, which, you know, the world is full of them. The Western world, especially. A lot of bottom 80 guys, a lot of the bottom 80 guys are just real feminine when it comes to, they're followers, bro. They're not leaders. They're not trying to be the best version of themselves. They've never been punched in the mouth, like all that other stuff. But she is literally the woman that she was just talking about, just wrapped up in a different cloak. This woman is not going to get the success with top tier men ever. They're just not going to deal with it. Now, again, you know, the dudes will smash, have a good time, meet her at a cocktail party, get her to come back to the penthouse or whatever, smash. But he's not going to try to be with her because she is going to try to command every chance she gets. No, let's do this. I don't want to do that. Let's do that. And the guy's going to be like, no, this is what I'm doing. And if you want to come along, you're invited. But we're not doing anything other than this. That's leadership. Now, once you're together, you have a relationship, he should be thinking about you. Like I got some don't, but a lot of do. Like, well, I know my wife likes to do these things, so I'm gonna make sure that we're doing plenty of that as well. But when a decision needs to be made, right? That command decision should come from, well, let me put it this way. Whoever makes that command decision, when decisions need to be made, whoever makes that command decision is the person who is in charge. And, you know, a lot of women, you're right, a lot of women are making those decisions.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you think of women maybe who do look for that kind of guy?
Yeah.
How much do you think it's because they don't trust men? They don't trust a man to lead a relationship. They don't feel they can rely on a man to do it. She's like, I'm going to have to do it myself.
Yeah, I think there's a big part to play with that as well. I think it's a trust issue as well.
Yeah.
Situation where you just feel like, yeah, no, I don't think that this person's going to do what they need to do to get us where we need to get to. I think that's built up though over time, like in your life. Yeah. It has a lot to do with like your childhood, I think.
Can be, yeah. You know, the father figure, your experience. Yeah.
Sometimes it might not even be the father figure. It might be just a situation where all the men in your life you've dated have not stepped up. So you've just made it a truth in your mind that this is how all men are. Yeah.
Very much so. Have you ever felt like that yourself, where you feel like you can't trust a man to lead or to play that position in your life?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I've had, because I like a balance, I like everything in my life to be balanced. I think the only issue I've ever had is dating men that are not comfortable with me taking the leadership position one time.
You see what it keeps coming back to the same thing, bro. She ain't following no man. You could be the bloody king of England. She ain't following him. She'll be like, I'm the bloody queen. Listen, fellas, you choose to go after this type of woman. That means you're going to have to follow her lead, bro. At the end of the day, when it comes down to, hey, I'm the man, this is what we need to do, she is not going to listen to you. the tornado's coming, or there's a flood, or if the Russians are coming, and you're trying to tell her to come on, we got to get out of here, she's gonna like, nope. I heard on this YouTube channel, or I read from the BBC or whatever. She's like, nope, I'm staying here. And at that point, you're gonna have to leave her or stay there with her. And if you stand there with her, you're there because she's leading. She's the boss. She's the boss. So I think it's cap, she's saying that, she's gone after these top tier guys or whatever and haven't had any problem. That's bullshit. Maybe what she's leaving out is, well, these dudes, they pump me, they dump me, they have a little fun, I get some experiences out of it, and then they move on because the guys figure out pretty quick, like, nah, man, she ain't gonna listen. She ain't gonna listen. She ain't gonna follow. And Brother Cody, yeah, man, I guess manly man isn't politically correct anymore. I guess because of toxic masculinity. I don't know what the hell is wrong with manly man, but keep in mind, bro, they're in UK. So it is what it is. And Brother Charles, man, I see you about, I think you're right about that. They want that, that female relationship thing where it's 50-50 and then maybe a little bit more responsibility on the masculine one. You might be onto something there, bro. It's just the way women are moving today, the programming today, is jacked up. And, thank goodness we got this technology. We can see it in 1080p. We can see it live and direct. Like, wow, this is how people are really thinking. Again, you look at this young woman, very attractive young woman. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she has physically. She knows what she can offer sexually. And she's like, yeah, I want someone who's better than me. I want someone who's stronger than me. I want someone who's wealthier than me, but I'm not going to follow that guy. Wow.
When I need to. I don't think they feel comfortable with that.
When you need to, can you give me an example when you've needed to?
Like in a situation, like, what we were talking about earlier, sometimes where you feel like you might know a little bit more in that area.
Yeah.
So you want to, you kind of want to help elevate the relationship. So you feel like maybe perhaps I should take the leadership in the situation. But I think the guys that I've dated in the past have found that quite intimidating. They're not okay to allow that to be a thing. They just want to be in the driving seat all the time.
Yeah. Was it, can you say like the area that you were like, oh, this is where I have, kind of more strengths in, so it made sense for him to kind of follow your lead in that sense?
I guess I'm quite good with people. I'm quite social when I need to be social.
Mm-hmm.
An example is when I dated this guy and we were in a relationship, that's an area that I sort of thrive in. And he didn't really. So instead of seeing that and working with me on that, he was jealous. He didn't understand it because that's something that he wanted to work on. That's something that he, I guess, admired, but at the same time didn't know how to deal with that emotion of, if we go to a meeting or if we're meeting new people, Ashley sort of knows how to talk to people in a way that I might not know how to talk to people. I think he found that quite intimidating because of how he was brought up in, where he was from.
Right.
Even that little story right there, right? I don't think that she's better with people. She doesn't strike me as a people person. What I think is she walks in the room and she commands the room with her beauty. And people come over because they're not used to seeing it. Oh, wow, look at that elegant black woman over there. And they're drawn to her. She's not a people person. She's not going to have people in stitches. She's not going to have any, really cool anecdotes. I mean, she's very dry. And she's saying, well, the guy got jealous of her ability to conquer the room and, her networking skills or her people skills are better than his. Like, dude must have zero people skills. And if that's the case, he doesn't sound like a top tier guy. And again, she's a youngin'. So, she might still be going after the guys with the Aston Martins and the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and stuff like that. And she might be going after dudes with the new money. And, maybe she's in situations where it's easy to command those rooms. And the guy gets jealous because he's used to being the center of attention. And they're working with different skill sets. Like, this guy's used to being a center of attention because he drives a Lamborghini. She's used to being a center of attention because she's sexy and she's showing a lot of cleavage and, she looks good. But at the end of the day, neither one of them are going to be able to climb up that social ladder because they don't really bring anything. So I think it might be more of that than anything else. But, hey, what do I know, man? I'm just an old man sitting in his attic, man, talking to a computer.
It's like the guy always walks into the room and takes charge of the conversation, and the girl just sits there passively quiet, which is something that that's not me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree. I would say my opinion on that would be part of being a good captain is recognizing when you should take someone's guidance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just tyrannical.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just tyrannical if you're kind of like, no, we're just doing it this way, whatever. Even when you can clearly see that somebody can benefit the team more because you're a team, right?
Exactly.
So if they can see that somebody can benefit the team more, but the ego gets in the way to say, no, it still has to be me who takes point on that. I would just say that's just a bad leader. Yeah, of course. Yeah. For sure. It's definitely the ego in that sense.
Yes.
Right. And we just talked about that not too long ago. It's like, hey, part of that leadership role is being able to assess everyone's skill. And you need to, you're not going to put the mechanic on the 50 cal sniper rifle if you're in the field. He's the mechanic. And I'm not going to put the sniper, on the 5-ton truck so he can fix the transmission or whatever. I'm not going to do that. Like I want the people with the best skill set. Like I want my best shooter on this weapon system, and I want my best mechanic on these vehicles. That's part of that. You have to understand that you don't know everything as the leader, and you definitely want to take that much needed advice, that counsel from the person you trust most. And the person you trust most should be your wife, your significant other. If she has something to say, you should absolutely stop everything and listen to what she has to say. That should be your right hand. She should be the one protecting your six. She's the one protecting your flank. So if she comes up and says something, you absolutely need to be listening. Right? That's all part of the leadership stuff. Same thing with, ladies, same thing with y'all. Like if your man comes up, your husband comes up and tells you something, he points out something that's in your blind spot, and you need to be listening. Right? But if you're too busy fighting for control, then you guys are destined to fail. And maybe that's why the failure rate is so high with relationships these days. The divorce rate is so high. That has to be part of it.
So I guess that's been my issue.
What's been your issue?
What I've just explained now.
Oh, a guy not being able to.
Yeah.
I hear that. I think there are definitely some guys like that for sure. I would be curious because sometimes it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious, how do you go about
Well, he gets into this part about basically how do you bring it up, or how do you give this information to people, and how do you accept information from people? Like if they tell you to do this, are you going to do it? I wanted to skip ahead to, do you trust a man's decision over yours? Check this out, guys.
Have you ever trusted a man's decision over yours?
There's been times when I haven't.
Where you have?
Where I haven't, but I have at times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you decide when to do that?
I just listen to my own inner voice. I have to always trust my voice first before I trust anybody else's voice, regardless of whether you're my partner or not.
I agree.
So you might tell me, Ashley, I think you should do that. But if my inner voice is saying do X, I'm going to do X, regardless of what you think. And we might have to fight afterwards, but yeah, I have to just always follow my voice.
No, I agree. I think people should follow their inner guidance for sure.
Yeah.
Spiritual.
I don't agree. She's just telling you she ain't listening to you. She ain't following you. She's not going to take commands from you. She's not going to allow you to make a decision that could adversely affect her. And that's another thing about following. Sometimes when you're not in command, right, you say what you got to say to whoever's in command, and they still make a bad decision. You don't get to just walk away. You still got to go issue that order. And that's another thing about that. Like, the best leaders know how to follow. They know the people who are the best at giving orders know how to take orders. and get it done to the best of their ability. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I can't tell you how many times I was given some bad orders and I had to make it happen. And I would implement those orders and do the best I can to make it happen, knowing this is not going to work. This is not going to work, but that's part of being on the team. That's part of that commitment. If you're in a relationship, especially with a guy, a top tier dude, a dude that has all these things, all the money, all the charm, all the networking and all that stuff. He has all that. It's your obligation to tell him as his number two, this is a mistake and this is why I believe it's a mistake. Here's what you're missing. This is what's in your blind spot. They're gonna get us with this. We should not do this. But if he decides we're gonna do this anyway, all right. That's where the love comes in, right? Like, all right, we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna get this done. I'm gonna try to implement this to the best of my ability. I know this isn't gonna work. I got to fall back in mind in case he freezes up here. And then when it's all over, that guy, that leader, your husband, you know, your number one, your significant other could come and say, I should have listened to you. And guess what? If you really love him, like, that's okay. That's okay. Right? I'm still with you. This is the better for worse type stuff. This is the for worse, part. I know you made the best decision. You thought you were doing what was right. You took that gamble. It didn't pay off. We got hurt by it. Moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Let's try not to do that again. But what generally happens when that sort of thing pops off, the ladies leave, bros. They're not even gonna go through it. They're not gonna go through the dark time. They're not willing to go through the downside and take the adverse effects from your decision because they don't want to follow you. And that's what she's talking about. I'm gonna listen to my inner voice. My voice says this. I'm gonna listen. No, you ain't gonna choose for me. I'm gonna choose for me. And they bounce. And then we live in a system, especially here in America. You go to family court and there's no prenup. Dudes come out of pocket anyway. So women are working with a net. I wonder what would happen if there was no net, no safety net. Would they be willing to ride out the tough times? I wonder. It's like AC is saying blacks need another Kevin Samuels. I don't know about that. You gotta understand that most blacks didn't know who Kevin Samuels was. Even when he died, they didn't know who he was. It's the internet, you know what I mean? It's a very small part of the internet. And when people who have solid families, even black folks, they got granddad and their wise uncles and grandma and all them telling them the very same stuff that Kevin Samuels was telling. There was nothing unique to Kevin Samuels' message. It's just so many people didn't have that because they came from broken homes. So blacks need another Kevin Samuels. No, Stay Slick with Kit is UK guy. He talks to, it's very diverse over there in UK. So I wouldn't classify his shows, this Kit guy. I wouldn't classify Kit's show as a black show. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? And Fearless, the next one to step up. I don't know who that is. Is that Felix? Fearless? I don't know who that is. Fit and Fearless, or Fit times Fearless. I don't know who that is. Fit by Fearless. A YouTube person, I would imagine, I guess. I'll probably have to look into that. Brother Penny saying if women didn't have parachutes, they'd have no choice but to stay on the plane and hope it sticks to landing. Yeah, that's a good point there, bro. They would have no choice. I ain't got no parachute, so I better make sure I pick a real good pilot before we get airborne. But I think that's a lot of it. Women know that they have the parachute. So, and they know that they don't have to listen. They don't have to do it. So again, especially with women who are looking for partners as opposed to husbands. You don't need a good husband. We can go out here and just get you a mediocre partner. And if it doesn't work out and the guy has, resources, money, all that kind of stuff, are you going to walk away with something? It's not like you get absolutely nothing for your time. So, and if he has the genes that you like, in other words, if you think he's handsome, he has those genes, you can have his baby. You're going to be happy with that. And you're going to get child support. You're going to get alimony. You're going to get to keep one of the houses or two of the houses or whatever. My God, that's a serious parachute that they're working with. A serious parachute. I think this is, yeah, we're gonna watch a little bit of this. Yeah, we're gonna keep watching this. Because it is a part that I'm waiting for him to bring up. And again, it goes back to, are you willing to follow? So let's continue to watch.
Beings having a physical existence.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you're with your partner.
Yeah.
You do come to a crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
He believes the best thing to do for the relationship is to go down path A.
Yeah.
You believe path B. How do you handle that scenario?
I think that situation, then communication is really important. I have to understand why he thinks his way is the right way. And he has to be open to understanding why my way is the right way.
I agree.
Then I guess maybe there might be a common ground. I don't believe that it's always black and white. Sometimes you can always find a middle ground.
Well, that's why I gave that example where there isn't one.
When there isn't one?
Yeah. Because sometimes that happens.
Then I have to follow my inner voice.
So you would go B?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll have to figure it out. However, but I would have to go with my own voice.
Okay. So you wouldn't
No one knows me better. No one knows me better than I know myself.
It's not about necessarily about knowing you, but I guess that's why I said the part about what's best for the relationship.
Yeah, but every decision that you make is attached to how it makes you feel and how you think it's going to work out for you. So regardless of whether you're in a relationship, there's no way you're going to completely sacrifice yourself for the relationship. What might be best for the relationship might not be best for you. It might not be best.
Right? How you feel. I'm going to go with my inner voice. Like, bro, there are a lot of women out here, a lot of young women out here like this, like, bro, I'm going to do what I want to do. To Brother Pitney's point, man, like it's the parachute. She's wearing a parachute. You come to a crossroads. Someone has to make the call. Right? The man in the relationship said, we're going to go left. She's like, nope, I'm going to go right. And if you want to go left, you go ahead. I'm going right. And then she says, we'll just have to figure it out, on the other side or whatever. There's no other side. Y'all just split. You just split. He made the decision. We're going this way. You said, nah, we're going that way. So he can go that way. And now he's following you. You are in command. You will always be in command. This is how it is. Or he can go his way and you continue to go with your way and it's over. Ain't no coming back. Like, it's over. She is not going to follow. And like she said, well, I'm not going to sacrifice myself for the relationship. I thought that's what love was. I thought that's what that thing was. We're going to come together. We're going to get married and we're going to go through this together. This is why that's a bad contract to sign, dudes. If you're going to do it, right, and you got something to lose, make sure you do the paperwork up front. Because I'm just making up numbers here, but I would venture to guess that 75% of the young women out here right now, bro, they're not going to follow you. They're going to do what they want to do. So be prepared. Have the paperwork ready. When y'all get to that point and she's no longer willing to follow you and you're no longer willing to follow her, at least you know what's going to happen when y'all go before the judge. We got this prenup, Your Honor. It's done. Like, it's done. And Brother Penny, you're right, man. As far as Kevin saying was, I use this as clickbait, thumbnail kind of thing, but you're right. Trying to find the next Kevin Samuels when people didn't really, they didn't pick the first one. They didn't pick Kevin Samuels. That was just him doing his thing. But you're right, but I was like, this should be pretty good clickbait. And I did it. Miss AKA ladies in the building. What's good, sis? What's good, sis? So if you're out here, gentlemen, and you get into a relationship, you're talking about getting married, you guys want to merge your lives together, make sure you're with a woman, or let's put it this way. Make sure you guys establish who's in command. Who's in command? Like this woman right here, she ain't following. She made it clear. Now, the thing is, she's not hiding it. So if you come across, like when you come across alpha women, they'll let you know, bro, they're not hiding it. They're not hiding it. But someone's going to have to call the shots. There's one captain to the ship. Right. And I think that Psych Hacks talks about this. Like, there's one captain. You're going to set the course. Right. If both of you guys have one hand on the wheel, then y'all ain't going to get nowhere and y'all going to get there fast. Someone has to set the course and maintain the course. And the other person's going to have to support that. Like the captain has a crew to support that. So when you get into a relationship, gentlemen, if y'all get in a relationship, you find the woman you want and she's alpha and she's like, nah, I'm going to be in command and she's the captain then. And you have to be okay with that. Me, I'm not okay with that. Now, of course, I'm not even talking about getting married. I'm not going to get married in my lifetime. Not legally married, not in the West. I might merge my life with someone down the road, in some country, somewhere, maybe under their local tribal conditions or something like that. But I ain't getting legally married. I ain't signing nothing. I'm going to be very aware of what the common law status is as far as that goes. I don't want people over my house like, all right, you can stay over here for 2 nights, but it might be a law. If they stay over there for 4 nights in a row, then they're your legal wife. Like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm going to be up on all that. But I'm telling you, man, like you find yourself in a situation, you're in a relationship as a man, I believe you should lead that relationship. I think you should take the lead. I think you should be the commanding officer. She should be your executive officer. You guys come together and move forward as a team, establish y'all goals, establish y'all objectives, and accomplish you guys' mission. Like I said, but if you don't want to be in command and she's okay being in command, go ahead, follow her. But most women don't want to lead like that, bro. Not forever. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to be in command like that. They're gonna get tired of making these decisions. They're gonna want to put that burden down. And if they find a dude out there who has the leadership qualities that they're looking for, I think they'll leave you in a heartbeat. Right? They'll go ahead and pull the cord on that parachute. Right? Take wherever they're gonna get through the courts, and they're gonna go follow the guy that they want to follow. And it is what it is. Like it is what it is. Man, this young lady right here, bro, she is not following nobody.
Best for your mental health. It might not be best for your emotional health.
Yeah.
It might be best, for an example, a couple that have children.
Mm-hmm.
It might be best for them to stay together for the sake of maintaining the relationship and having that space for the children to grow up in.
Yep.
But that might not be the best decision for you because you're not happy in that space.
You're
not
agree.
showing up as your best self. So I'd always have to choose me. And I would hope that my partner would support that.
I think when you're in a relationship, you both make sacrifices. And ultimately, it's about what are you willing to sacrifice for the benefit of the relationship. And everyone's threshold is different.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing wrong with you going, I'm not going to sacrifice anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. But then I think you would then struggle unless you're going to choose a man where you're going to agree on absolutely everything, I think a clash is always going to happen.
I think you can have disagreements, and I think disagreements don't have to be toxic. They don't have to be crazy.
No.
I think you can work with somebody that's completely opposite to you. It's just how you learn to work together. You have to actually know yourself and then know the other person really well. And you're able to kind of make your differences work. I think men and women are not always going to be 100% on the same page. We're just completely different. But then same in the sense that we're both human beings and we breathe air and all of those things. But
yes,
I have so many attributes about myself that you don't have, and you have so many attributes that I don't have. They're different, but we should just be able to work with that instead of like trying to always have somebody on the same page as you.
No, I agree. I agree. I mean, it depends. Again, this is contextual. It depends what's on the same page about. If you want kids and then he doesn't. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. You can't force that situation. Yeah.
I mean, it's again, shout out to Kit. You see how he works this. You see how he handles his tone. She's saying, but he's telling her his truth. Like, look, you're not going to be successful getting the type of guy you want, but that type of attitude is not going to work. If you're a top tier guy, you're out here, doing your best to bend the universe to your will, making money, doing all the things you need to do to continue to provide, to do all these things for your at the time, I guess your girlfriend or whatever. You're coming home and you got to fight with her over even little things. Like when I was air traffic controlling, bro, when I was out there and I had some bad days, I could not imagine coming home to a wife who's fussing at me about little things like, well, I don't feel like making you spaghetti tonight, or You come home and the kitchen is a mess. Like, damn, baby, you couldn't even clean the kitchen, and she wants to fuss at you about little things, whatever. There's no way I would deal with that. Like, I'm out, done, bye, peace. This is over. And I guess, like men and women are different. But to her point, she's like, you got to know yourself. And you got to know the other person. Yeah, that's straight out of Sun Tzu. If you know yourself, you know the other person, you're going to be able to work things out for the most part. But if you know the other person, like you truly know her and you truly know that she's not going to follow you, she's always going to be doing her thing, and you're not cool with it, then y'all shouldn't be together. Her thing is like, I'm still going to be me and I still want this guy and he's going to bend to my will. A lot of women think that. But that's not necessarily what's going to happen. And then that part about he doesn't want kids and she does. Well, we know how that runs. It is what it is. That's now you're starting to get into baby trap territory, because a lot of times when women are in a relationship with a guy, they don't want to let him go. It's like there's one way to keep him around. Oh, I don't know what happened. I guess the birth control didn't work. Boom, got a baby. Right. And I'm not knocking women. That's just a tool that they can run that. They can run that play. If men could run that play, trust me, they would. If dudes could have a baby and run a baby trap on a woman, my God, the vast majority of dudes I done met in life would do it. They will do it. I know dudes that was purposely trying to get girls pregnant to keep her around. So, I'm not beating up on the chicks, but I'm just saying dudes don't have babies, so it is what it is. But bro, I'm telling you, man, leading in a relationship, someone's going to have to lead that relationship. Be it a romantic relationship or a business relationship, someone's going to have to lead. Someone's going to have to make the tough calls. When you come to that crossroads, someone's going to have to say left or right. I mean, it is what it is. There's no discussion. There's no debate. This is where we're going. We're going this way. This is the course we're taking. And fellas, I think that should be you. But if you want a woman that's going to make that call, you simply going to support her. You want to be the sergeant major in your relationship. You want to be the executive officer in your relationship. Fine. Go ahead and do it. But I'm telling you, most women are going to get tired of leading. They're going to get resentful of you for not stepping up. They're going to be so mad at you, bro. And brother, is there a time frame? Vetting, I give it 2 years. I tell dudes, like, if you're serious, you're trying to be with a woman, you're thinking about marrying her, you need to vet her for 2 years. Of course, that 2 years starts from the day you meet her. But is there like a time frame? No. It's really hard to fool someone for 2 years. It's really hard to cover your tracks for 2 years. It's really hard to maintain lies for 2 years. Some people can do it, but most people can't. So I use 2 years as my benchmark for vetting. And he was like, or would that also fall on the men not to lose frame after acquiring the girl? That's really difficult too. And most guys are going to lose frame, bro. I mean, they're just gonna. They're going to find the woman that they want. She's everything that he's ever wanted. I mean, she's beautiful. She's cool. She likes playing sports. She does whatever those things are. She's all that. He's going to lose frame a little bit, bro. He's going to lose frame. I mean, you have guys who are just completely, 100% hardcore on it. Those guys are maintaining their frame. Those, and those dudes will probably keep their rotation going, keep spinning plays, doing whatever. That's a different beast. But for the average dude who just got his game together, he's trying to find his woman. He finds her. He's vetting her. He's going to lose a little bit of frame. But here's the thing. You never relinquish the leadership role. So I would replace the frame part with the leadership role. You must maintain the leadership role. If you give that up, I think you got a big problem. I think you got a really big problem. This AKA lady, she's like, at this point in life, peace at home is a non-negotiable. Yeah. You got to have peace at home. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not really looking. I'm just not. And when my daughter gets out of high school and we get her all set up for college and all that, I'm not going to be looking, bro. What I'm looking for is going to be something completely different. But I'm going to be so old by then. Right? I'm just looking for something different. It's not like when I was young out there, when I was looking for a wife. And trust me, guys, I made some mistakes. One of these days I'll share that with y'all. Now I'll have to put the Patreon up for that to really get into that story. I need the Patreon up. But I mean, bro, I fucked up. And like, why do you think I'm so confident when I tell you, if you choose the wrong woman, she will utterly destroy your life? Why do you think I know so much about that? Right? And if you choose the right woman, man, she will 1,000x your life. It would be the best thing ever. Women or either they could be so divine or they could be evil, depending on you as a guy and your choice. Right? You gotta be smart. If you make a mistake, correct your mistake right away and don't continue down the road. Don't be hard-headed. Don't be stupid. Don't try to force yourself into a Disney fairy tale situation. If you do, you're gonna get hurt. Like if you a dude out here and this woman, young Ashley Banks, you and her get together and y'all doing everything and you know she ain't following you, but you let it go because she's everything else, and y'all get into it and y'all start building and everything, your mind like, oh, this is going good, but then y'all get to that crossroads and it's time to go left. Like, we got to go left on this, girl. We got to go left. Trust me on this. We're going left. And she's like, nah, I want to go right. So you follow her right, and then everything just goes sideways. You destroy everything y'all built together. She bails with that parachute. She takes all of the good assets, leaves you with the bad assets, and now you stuck on stupid, mad at the world. And you think every woman's a 304 and they're all evil. Nah, that was on you, bro. You knew she wasn't going to follow you, yet you continued on anyway, and it went sideways. That's on you. I've been there. Sister Roslyn in the building. What's good, sis? Let's just finish up this last little bit, and we'll wrap things up for tonight.
But yeah, I do think it's, we do make sacrifices for the benefit of a relationship.
Yes.
And that's part of what it means to be in a relationship.
Yes.
Because there may be some things that he wants to do that he chooses not to because it serves the relationship for him to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
And likewise, that's going to be the same on the woman's side as well.
I don't know. I think maybe I just don't like the word sacrifice, because when I hear it, it's attached to just suffering, and I don't know why.
Why do you attach that suffering?
Because my mind just does. Maybe that's something I need to look deep into. But
Yes.
yeah, but I really just attach it to suffering, and because I don't really like the idea of being in a relationship where you have to suffer
Emotional damage
for the sake of the relationship, I'm finding it hard to agree with that perspective.
Maybe it's the word sacrifice.
Yeah, I think it just makes me feel like there's, no.
You see what I mean? She is not giving up anything for anyone. And I don't think it's really just about men. Like this is a very shallow young woman. It's fine. She's more than okay for her to be that way. This is a woman who understands her beauty. She understands what she can get, how far she can get with her physicality and, and all that. Right. She's looking at her track record like, well, it's gotten me this far. She's only 24. She's still a kiddo. Right. She's at her peak. She has probably legions of men eating out of the palm of her hand. Right. But all that's going to change in about 6 to 10 years. All that's going to change. But she's still not going to be willing to follow anyone's lead, no matter what. She's that thing about sacrifice. I'm not willing to sacrifice. I don't like that word sacrifice. That's just letting you know. You want me, you on board with me, and it's all about me. I'm not taking no chances. You gonna make sure this is right, and if it ain't right, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna suffer and sacrifice none of that. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You don't lead me, I lead you. That's what I'm hearing. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Let's fast forward 6 to 10 years down the road, and let's see how, young Ashley Banks turns out. She might find herself some Duke or Lord this or Baron that, Duke, whatever, Prince this. She might, but more than likely she won't. More than likely, she's going to wind up getting a guy that's in the lower tier, and she knows she's going to be settling for this dude, and this dude is going to be following her lead, and she's just going to go on with her secondary mission, which is going to be whatever it is going to be. If she wants to have kids or wants to travel or whatever it is going to be, she's going to make sure that this guy does these things. The first dude, her partner, like I said, she ain't going to have a husband. She's going to have partners, maybe 2 or 3. And she's going to get rid of partners as she continues to accomplish her secondary missions until she gets to that third probably the third guy, and that's the guy she's just gonna live out the rest of her life with, because she's not gonna want to wind up in some old folks home or something like that. So she's gonna have that going on, I think. But who knows? After talking to Kit, maybe she's gonna sit back and really think about what she's doing. Maybe she's gonna talk to him some more, and he's gonna let her know, like, you are at the peak right now, right? Right now is the best time for you. You have the most value in the sexual marketplace right now at 24, but 6 to 10 years from now, your value is going to be way lower. You're not going to be able to compete with the next Ashley that comes up, and all those older dudes are still going to be trying to get on that young, beautiful woman. How you going to compete with that? And you're not willing to follow anyone's lead, so these dudes ain't messing with you. When these other women are willing to follow this lead, now what? So she might talk to Kit, and she might begin to change the way she does business. But fellas, be careful. Be careful. If you out here, you come across a woman who refuses to follow, you got a decision to make, gentlemen. You want to follow her lead, let her be in command. And if that's the case, y'all move forward. Or you're going to sit her down and say, hey, baby, there's one commander here and I'm it. I'm the CO. And if she has a problem with that, good luck to you. It was a pleasure talking to you, love. Bye-bye. Those are your two choices, gentlemen. And I think you guys should lead. That's my take on it. I hope you guys enjoyed that, man. Shout out again to Stay Slick with Kit, man. Down DeMarco to that brother.
Down DeMarco.
Check him out, man. Like he has some really fascinating conversations over there. There's a conversation, I haven't watched it yet, but there's a woman that says that all men are gay. Word. And like I said, the women here talking to, they're in London, UK women. Not the finest. The woman who was saying that, I was shaking my head, and it just, guys, you guys really need to work on getting the same confidence that these women have. Like Ashley right here is one of the more attractive women he's had on the show. He's had a couple on there that are like, like, okay, legit 9. He had like one I could think of. She was like legit fine. But the rest of them, I mean, 7, 7.5. The vast majority of them hover right around 5, 5.5. Again, guys, 5 is average. 5 is average. People can get mad. You call them a 5. Like 5, you're average. I can understand if I call you a 1 or a 2, you might get a little huffy. I can say that. But average 5. If I call you, like 4 points below that, 3 points below that, I can see you getting mad. But if I call you 2 or 3 points above average, you okay with that? Nah, I guess women tend to think that the average woman is an 8. Nah, the average is average. Average is 5. If I call you a 0, you might want to be mad at me. The average woman is a 5. So, like, it is what it is. Miss AKA lady, like, I don't know too many 40-year-old men who are looking for a 20-something year old to take that serious. I know some. I know quite a few. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It depends on what circles you run in. Those dudes who are in, like, 6-figure plus, those guys are making $200,000-$400,000 a year. If they are, let's say 40, 42 years old, yeah, man, they're surrounded by 20-somethings. They're surrounded by, 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds, a couple 28-year-olds. I mean, look at Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, like, yeah, Miss AKA lady, I'm telling you, there's dudes at the higher echelon, those top tier men, those higher earners, especially at 40. Yeah, they're looking, they're not just looking, they're dealing with 20-somethings all day, every day, all day. You don't believe me? Go to Atlanta, go to New York, go to Miami, go to LA, go to Vegas. You really want to see it, go to Vegas. And it's not that they're just smashing, because they're smashing all kind of women. That's who they want for various reasons. Most of them, they're still trying to have kids or whatever, so they want a younger woman, but they like the energy. I mean, I'm not trying to holler at a 20-year-old, 22-year-old. Seriously, I ain't trying to do that, but there's just nothing there. But there are a lot of guys who that's what they rock with. That's what they want. These very established, very wealthy men. You get on someone's yacht, you get on someone's, private jet, you get in, that's what you're going to see. And that, just take it from me, working at Van Nuys especially, we're looking now, at all these people jumping on their Gulfstream, their Global Expresses, their Citations, the King Airs. And you see these young girls coming off the plane and you see the old dudes coming off behind them. And it's like, obviously they're in a relationship, like a real relationship. I mean, you saw it all the time. It is what it is. The average guy is looking for a woman who can relate to, a woman he can relate to. I'm talking about the average guy. The average guy can't get sexual access, love. You just keep it 100. The average guy is getting whatever he can get. I think when it comes to this, the average dude struggles so hard with women that they'll take whatever they can get. Why do you think this type of content is so popular? Why you look at the manosphere and look at what's going on out here. The average guy has a really hard time getting any woman at all. So the dudes who are getting sexual access, they're not average, love. They're not average. Those dudes are those guys who are getting sexual access. Those dudes have game. They know how to walk up. They know how to, keep conversations going, break the ice, all that stuff. All that stuff I'll be talking about. The guys need to be able to do. Those guys who know how to do that, I put them in the top 20% because those guys aren't invisible. Like if you're a guy that a woman sees and a woman comes up to, you are well above average. And this is my take on this. From what I'm seeing out here, if you know what you're doing and you're, a dude who can hold a conversation, you're a guy who's making more than $50,000 a year, right? Remember, the average household, the median household income in America is under $90,000. If you're a guy, you're making $80,000, $90,000 as an individual, you're not average. Right? If you're a guy that women come up to, you're not average. If you're a guy that a woman will come and place herself in your orbit, you're not average. Right? The average dude can't get on with any type of woman. And that's why we're working so hard to get these guys out of the bottom 80 and up into that top 20. We want these guys to be seen, go from being invisible to being seen. We want to make dudes better than average just so they can get an opportunity. Right. And if a dude is like just, a couple steps better than average, and then you add to that money component, again, leave a guy to his own devices. Even the dudes you're talking about, he's going to go with a younger woman. If he could pull it off, he probably would go with a younger woman. Even if it's not for a serious long-term thing, he'll still be messing around because every dude is into youth and beauty. It's just we're hardwired that way, love. Right. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. And for those guys out there getting it in, you know what I mean? Those dudes out there getting it in, they're not average. They're not average. Dudes who know how to, the dudes who know how to dress properly, they can hold a conversation. I ain't talking about the Pookies and Ray Rays, even though they get theirs, and the Chads or whatever, they get theirs too. I'm not talking about the guys that just, the PUA guys, the pickup artist guys who are just running strict numbers. I'm gonna talk to 100 women a week. I'm gonna talk to 100 women a week, and I'm gonna talk to 400 women a month, and I'm gonna wind up getting something. There are guys who do that. But we're talking about, you want to say the average dude, like the guy who's out there getting on with women, who can provide experiences, who knows how to talk, he ain't average. Right? When you look at all the invisible dudes, he is in the top 20, in my opinion. You know what I mean? In my opinion. And you're right, sis. She's like, I'm not in those circles because I'm a homeowner. She's in the house, got a solid career, got a circle, and they don't be saying that. Yeah. You're dealing with a different world. Like I said, there are a lot of bubbles out here, sis. There are a lot. I've been in those bubbles. I've been to those barbecues. I've been around with the kids, play dates and stuff like that. I've been around that world. All right, I'm a networker. Like I've been in that world, and I've heard the conversations, especially when the women are around. And then I've been with those same dudes out and about when there's no women around, and they say something different. Just keeping it 100 with you, babe. They say something different. Right. So you got to understand there's a lot of dudes out there playing their role. They're happy. They don't want to mess up what they have. But trust me, they might have their woman at home. They're doing their thing. They got their family. But I see these dudes. I had someone hit me up in one of the comments basically saying, oh, you must be a low tier dude. If you're in a strip club, that's where low tier guys are. You know how many married men happily married men are in the strip club weekly, right? Who do you think is driving the OF platform? Billions and billions of dollars coming from happily married men. You can see that in just on YouTube in general. These YouTubers are starting to get a little bit of a following. They're starting to get some clout. Bro, they be sliding the DMs all the time. So sis, I hear you. Right, I hear you. I'm just letting you know that those dudes you're talking about are not average. You know, she's like, I consider 85,000 plus a year average. That's the livable wage in my area. You don't have to be extremely rich, just stable. I'm talking about marriage and commitment, not just smashing. Well, I hear you. Like, trust me, I hear you. And I hate to, it's like I'm always the one popping the balloons, but I'm like, like 85K, it's a livable wage. But like I said, the median income, especially in Florida, I think the median income in Florida for an individual is 46 to 48,000. Let's look it up real quick. See if I can find it real quick. And median individual income in Florida. Yeah, that's what I meant. Let's say AI overview. Who is this from? Median individual income in Florida is $40,770. Here's some other income statistics in Florida. Median income in Florida, same number. What is the average personal income? Let's look at the average. Top earners in Florida, 77.4. The 75th percentile, 61.7. Average, 49.2. 25th percentile, 36.8. That's Zip Recruiter. So, yeah, if someone's pulling down 80, girl, they doing way better than average. And I agree with you. That's a livable wage. But that guy has options. Even if especially if he's a father, he's out there, playing golf, driving around in a decent little, got a nice little 3 Series BMW, or driving around in a nice SUV, like, or a Ford F-150 or a Raptor or something like that. He takes care of himself. He's still in shape. Trust me, that dude has options. The only question is he going to exercise those options? That's the only question. And here's the thing. A lot of those guys, again, love, I see them. I know I'm in those circles. I'm in the locker room, right? I know what time it is. I'm on the boat. I'm on their boat, right? I see who's on there, right? Especially when the wife is gone, especially when the wife and kids are gone, especially when he's on a trip, like I say, to Vegas for business or LA or whatever. A lot of these dudes are getting it in. Not all. And even in some of these dudes, they don't even want to do it. They don't want to do it. But it's just like, man, they get to talking to you like, yeah, my wife tripping, man. She don't want to do nothing anymore. She kind of let herself go a little bit, right? They're hanging in there for the family. They love her. But they're like, shit, man, I got this young girl over here trying to make something happen. At the end of the day, the programming is the same, love. The programming is the same. Mooncrawler, what's good? Like, I barely make 19K a year. Bro, hey, man, you're close to the median depending on where you are. I'm just letting you know, like, again, it's just like I said, I hate busting the bubble, but people present differently in different circles. They get around someone like me, bro. We in a lounge, or like I said, we're in Vegas, we're in New York, we're in Miami, hell, right here in Tampa. Down at the Edition, on the rooftop at the Edition. Go down there on a Friday or Saturday, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you'll see these married men. They ain't even taking off their ring. They don't have to, because there's so many women out here who are looking for that dude. The question becomes, will he exercise those options? If he's bringing in $85,000 a year, right, and his wife is going to be making money too, so they're well over $100,000 per household, and they're good with their money and all that kind of stuff. The kids are stable, whatever. Bro, I'm telling you, sis. He gets to exercise options if he chooses to. I got to put it back on the women. If that guy is not exercising options, then his wife is still fine. She's kept it together. She's cool. She's probably getting the sport. She's a great mom, whatever. They're, a great wife. He's getting all the sex he wants. He's getting the Foxy Brown like all the time. Like, they loving each other. That dude ain't exercising options. He don't need to. He got what he married right there. But 75% of Americans are either obese or overweight. 75%. These dudes be marrying dimes and then they let themselves go. And then that guy, if he wants to smash something nice, he can. He has the option. He can. A better question is to what is the average household income required for a comfortable standard of living in the United States? Yeah, bro, to be honest with you, like comfortable, depending on what region you're in. But, you know, if I'm just going to make up a number for you, fam, household income, I would say a good median household income to have a good life in America. Man, I would say two earners, I would say 150 to 175, and you should be good in just about any region except for California and New York. For Cali, you need 300. If you're bringing in 300 in SoCal, even in Northern California, Southern California, if your household income is 300,000 or more, you're living good. That's a good, decent, livable wage. That's a good life. I think that will be comparable to someone living in Florida, household income of about 150,000. I think you will have the same comparable life, you know, apples to apples, being able to live in the best neighborhood, get the kids tutoring or whatever, have all kind of extra sports, driving what you want to drive, 2 cars, nice house, taking vacations every year, still putting away money and, like, you know, for retirement and stuff like that. Good portfolio. I think between 150 and 175 anywhere in America, but 300,000 minimum in places like, you know, San Francisco, LA, San Diego, New York, Connecticut, places like that. I mean, it's just, you know, that number's going up. Costs a lot of money. In this case, like, are they just smashing or committing? A little bit of both, sis. You'd be surprised. These dudes be falling for these girls. You'd be surprised. But a lot of the guys, they'll get into a relationship with the girl, and, you know, these good men, like the guys who are just like, man, his wife won't give him any sex, and, you know, he's like really stressed out and things are kind of crazy. He'll start messing around with some young girl, and it'll start out as he's just smashing her, but eventually he'll begin to fall for her, especially if she's doing those little things, not just the sex, but like she's cooking and she's following his lead and she's learning from him and she goes to him. They build that kind of relationship. That's when it gets bad. That's when it gets bad. And I tell a lot of dudes, like, bro, if you're gonna go out here and just smash some chicks, man, just keep it like that, man. Don't be falling in love with them, but they be falling in love. But anyway, do they be smashing or committing? Of course, they want to smash. That's why I specifically asked who they want to tie their life up with. They want someone who has proven they're responsible. Yes and no. I mean, and we got to go. You know what? We can. I love talking to you, sis. I love talking to you. Because now we're getting into different aspects of it, right? So, you know, I would say that damn near all men are going to want young, beautiful women. Remember, we were talking about a 40-year-old guy. You know, you were saying a 40-year-old guy is not going to mess with a 20-year-old or 20-something for a committed relationship. And I was saying, nah, they do all the time, right? And it's those dudes at the higher end of the spectrum that they just fall in love. They do it all the time. I'll end it. I'll leave it there. But there's a bunch of other stuff in there as well. Like, you know, I've seen guys they love their wife, but they're having those problems, and then they mess around with some young girl or a younger woman, or a woman in her 30s. They mess around with the woman on the side and then begin to fall in love with her, and then that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's definitely a problem. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I get you. So you have a good night too. Hey, sis, you know I love talking to you. I'm so glad you're here. Shout out to you. Miss AKA lady in the building, y'all. We go back and forth, guys. And I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. And Brother Moon, I'm gonna finish up here, and then we're gonna wrap up, guys. I'm just gonna finish up these last couple questions. That's quite similar to what I discovered doing my research. One article indicated that based on 2024 data, a minimum of 120,000 will be required. Yeah, and I've lived around the country and I've done a lot of things. I was speaking anecdotally, But yeah, I can see that, bro. I mean, I'm sure the data would absolutely support that. It's getting so expensive to live in America, bro. See, it's going up and up and up and up and up. I hope at some point that we get that correction and it kind of brings it back down. Because if that same question, if you'd have asked me that question back in 2005, the answer would have been way different. Money wise, they've been way different. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's going up, and you're right. It's definitely around the range of 120 to 175, which is crazy. It is, bro. It really is. Contrarian, what's good, bro? Like average salary in California is about 75 to 300,000. Is as absurd as it is rare. You know, like living in California, like especially like when you're looking at SoCal, NorCal, or whatever, if you're in LA, there are people who live in the LA household. Of course, they're making, $50,000-$60,000 a year. A lot of people living in the house. A lot of people are renting. But like I said, apples to apples, if you're trying to live in, like, let's say you want to live in the San Fernando Valley and you want to live in a nice neighborhood. You want to live somewhere safe. You want to live. So now you're looking at Studio City, maybe Valley Village, but really like Studio City, Sherman Oaks, Warner Center, maybe parts of Northridge, Burbank, that North Hollywood, and even North Hollywood kind of shaky, it depends on what part. But if you're trying to live somewhere that's safe, good school district, right? You're going to live there, you're going to buy a house. Like, bro, you're going to need a lot of money, right? What's the average home in those places I just mentioned, bro? You're probably looking at close to $2 million, right? Just for the house. Then you got taxes and everything. You want to put, the public school system in LA is really bad. So you're definitely looking at private school for your kids, right? That's going up. That's going to push that number up there. So, like I said, insurance, your vehicles, being able to move around, like I said, go on vacation and stuff like that, bro. Household, yeah, I'm 300,000, bro. 300,000 to live like that. Now, can you live in the San Fernando Valley or can you live in SoCal with a house with the median household income for America, which is around between 82 and 86, $87,000 or something like that household? Yeah. Yeah, but are you gonna be living in those places I just named? Nah. Nah, bro. Nowhere near that, bro. You're gonna be in some very, very bad neighborhoods. You're gonna be in school districts that are just like trash. You're gonna be commuting like crazy to get back and forth to work. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna move further away. Like, where are you gonna go? Are you gonna go to Valencia? You gonna go to Simi? Are you gonna go to San Bernardino? Like, where are you gonna go? Like, you can go way out there, right? But all that driving back and forth, how many cars you gonna have to buy a year? So living in California was insane. There's a lot of money. In the country, like the expatriate, bro, like bro, if you're a real expat, I'm trying to be like you, bro. I'm trying to get up out of America, fam. As soon as my daughter graduates, bro, I'm looking at Peru. Real talk, man. I'm looking at Peru. Yeah, man. Be careful going to LA. Like, you're gonna move to Cali because the pay is high. It is really high. I mean, look, they just made that law minimum wage of $20 working in restaurants. But man, now the cost of living out there is just staggering, bro. Gas. Do yourself a favor, Brother Moon. Look at gas prices in LA. Look at the gas prices in LA. Insurance, it's crazy. Are you looking at your auto insurance, especially? They do have Kaiser out there. So as far as health insurance goes, you can probably get you a good deal going through that HMO, but that's kind of a nightmare dealing with that. You look at the taxes out there, bro, and just look at just what it costs to go out and just buy a drink, man. Like, Cali is expensive. Yeah, I hear Canada's expensive right now. So like, y'all housing market is crazy, but it's just wild out here, bro. It's wild. It's like you saw me on Fresh and Fit one time talking about the AC information. Yep, air traffic control, and you gave some really good advice, actually. Even though I'll probably enter that field, I was really informed. I think as a foreign national, you can't you can apply with the FAA, I think. It's in the job announcement. But yeah, bro, appreciate that, man. Thank you. Appreciate you seeing, we talk about that all the time, man. Like air traffic, man. Like it's a great gig. It's great. I had a great time, man, but boy, it was tough. I had some really, really bad days. It just ATC is just crazy. I've had days I'll come home from work and just pass out, bro. I was just so mentally drained. But I'm so glad I had that opportunity, man. And yeah, if you come into the States, bro, look at Tennessee, look at Ohio, like look at Cincinnati, Ohio. If you're coming to America, look at Cincinnati, Ohio, look at Nashville, Knoxville, Tennessee, look at Raleigh, North Carolina. I would say look at those places. Look at Kansas City. Look at those places. Like, your dollar can kind of go further there. Arizona, Nevada, California, yeah, it's kind of rough. Florida's going through a transition right now. Maybe a year from now, Florida might be you might want to put Florida on the list. Look at Texas, like Dallas, Houston. That might be something, more your speed, something that's more affordable. But definitely, look around. Like there's some pockets in America. If you don't mind being cold, look at Michigan, northern Michigan. If you don't mind being cold, and if you can find a good job or whatever, there's some places still. Pennsylvania, there's some places, but yeah, Miss AKLA, I can't imagine trying to buy a house in Cali or New York. 600,000 would put you in the hood. Yeah. Like Compton, bro, like $550,000 for a starter house in Compton or Inglewood all day long. It's crazy. And definitely healthcare, bro. There's some options for you down here in healthcare. That's what's up, man. Got a degree and everything and working minimum wage, man. That's terrible, man. Healthcare, especially in nursing. I don't know what you're doing exactly in healthcare, but there's some opportunities down here, man. And if you, that's probably what drew you to California. You probably were looking at Kaiser. They do good stuff out there. They're competitive. Brother Contrarian, he's like, yep, I agree. 300,000 live in LA. Yeah, definitely there. Yeah. Also, leave America for months or years at a time. You won't regret it. Yeah, I'm looking at Peru, bro. Seriously, I'm looking at Peru. I'm thinking 6 to 8 months there, and then the rest of the time just kind of traveling the world. Just wait for my daughter to get out of high school, man. That is what I'm looking at, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This just ain't it. So I appreciate y'all guys. Thank y'all so much. I'm just gonna show the rest of these comments, man. I really appreciate it. He's like, I'm gonna write all these down. Yeah, look at those spots, bro. And hit me up, man. Hit me up. I'll put my banner up again. You can hit me on Instagram, bro. You can hit me on Telegram, DL_Saint on Telegram. Just hit me up. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you, bro. I have to warn you, I do have a consult fee. So if you want the free information, man, just come on the show and ask the questions. I won't charge you for that. But if you want to, have a sit down with me, I do charge. But I'm very competitive, bro. I'm not that expensive. The free stuff is online, is right here. But a lot of people, they just want to have conversations with me, and I give them my rates or whatever. It's real painless. I normally do per hour, but we can break it down. Just depends. But I tell people all the time, you can ask me on the podcast for free, and I'll answer. Right, I'll answer. But if you want to talk to me one-on-one, I'm going to charge you. So that is what it is. Miss AKA lady, like Miami is expensive too, but keep it planning, you'll land something. Yeah, Miami is expensive, but not as expensive as some of those other places we mentioned. But I love Miami. I love Miami, bro. Like if when I grow up, man, when my ship comes in, like I'll get me a condo in Miami in one of those buildings. But it's still, I'll only be here a couple months out the year. I'll be in Peru or traveling. So I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for rocking out with me. Listening to this old man ramble on. I appreciate y'all, man. Again, shout out to brother Stay Slick with Kit. Man, I'm telling you, bro, he's going to change the world, man. Y'all keep watching that guy. He is going to change the world. His tone, his message. I think it's what's needed. And more importantly, women are listening to him and others. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys, man. I'm DL Saint. I want to thank you guys again for rocking out with me. Appreciate everything. And I will see you guys Monday. Remember, tomorrow, not going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to post some stuff. I'm going to upload some stuff, but I'm not going to do my live tomorrow. We got a 5:00 meeting about an upcoming event we're working on here in Tampa. So tomorrow I'm not going to be here. Maybe I'll do a late night. Maybe I'll do a lit saint. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll sip on a little something and do a lit saint. But until next time, I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.